I've been waiting my whole life for this. Orthopedic surgeon and husband for the View host, Sunny Hostin, has been named in a federal lawsuit alleging insurance fraud.
I agree with mostly everything that's been said. I mean, we know that, only about 31% of Americans trust our healthcare system. We have a terrible healthcare system. And, doctors suffer because of big corporations as well. Doctors that want to do good, like my husband, operates on someone even though they don't have insurance.
People have to wonder, where does Sunny Hostin get her opinions? Yeah. Like you said, it's obviously from her husband. She has to tell her what to say in The View, because without it, she's got nothing.
Sunny Hostin just got a reality check delivered with steel boots, and it wasn't gentle. It came crashing in, carried by Tyrus and Greg Gutfeld like a duo straight out of a demolition derby. Imagine losing $450 million and then getting verbally body slammed on national television by two guys who wield sarcasm like it's a professional sport. What followed? Roasted pride, a public grilling, and a level of verbal violence that could crash your Wi-Fi signal. Buckle up. This meltdown wasn't just messy. It might be the roast of the year.
She is not implicated in the lawsuit at all, but it's just, you're married, Tom, you're married. Your husband's doing something, if he's allegedly doing something like this, you guys would know if your wives were up to some nefarious stuff. But let's just not forget who she is. She's been, for years, lecturing America about morality, inequality, systemic failures, and look at her track record. How many times does she have to go on in the past 2 months and look at the camera and do a legal apology for all the stuff that she said?
Criminal case now, the prosecutors are like, oh, really? Well, how about we add some additional fraud charges onto you? And they're talking about threatening him with insurance fraud, which I would say you could get about 20 years in prison. So that's a debt.
You're lounging in your $5,000 award show chair, the kind that screams avant-garde elegance but feels like sitting on minimalist plywood. You're sipping ethically churned, locally sourced, Arzal oat milk, pinky raised, of course. Then ping. Your inbox erupts like it's hosting a discount legal fire sale. But instead of panicking, what do? You slap on your finest blazer of moral superiority, flip on the camera, and lecture the nation like a disappointed principal talking to kids who didn't compost.
Brains are small, but who's the dumbest one of all? True, none of them are in Mensa, but who's the most densa? Perhaps it's Sunny who mastered the art of making idiots look smart. Now The View could ask a mirror who's the dumbest one of all, but there's no way that...
Welcome to Sunny Hostin's Week from PR Hell, where irony writes the headlines. Sunny, the queen of elite side-eyes and intellectual smugness, has built a brand on passive-aggressive lectures and over-enunciated disdain. The kind of person who could explain systemic injustice to a cactus and leave it feeling ashamed. Meanwhile, she's completely ignoring the Category 5 financial disaster brewing in her own backyard. If eye rolls were activism, Sunny would be a global movement.
The problem is that you have to go after the racist people. And if be the CEO goes, you know what, I'm not going to allow a woman on my show, or man, that will go after white America and talk about them like dogs. That doesn't represent our ideals or values for anyone. And get rid of those people, and this will clear up real quick. So do you have to actually look in the mirror and clean up your own backyard and get the racist people out? Because that's who you allowed in. You allowed black racists on TV who could just go all day and say anything about white people. And I guess lo and behold, they forgot that there's a lot of people at home, white people at home during the day, that are not watching your show anymore. So just clean it up.
Yeah, Emily.
Because while she was busy trying to remake society in her flawless image, armed with smug filters and pre-programmed outrage, her husband was out here writing the manual on how not to handle money. Forget slipping on a banana peel. This guy dove headfirst into a $450 million financial implosion, and Sunny didn't even blink.
Sunny Hostin, who thinks climate change caused the solar eclipse, the dumbest of them all. Because everyone knows the moon caused the eclipse, which is controlled by the View's gravitational pull. All right, Kat, did you ever see such a group? It's amazing how Joy and Whoopi became the smart ones.
Cue the lawsuit that hit their household like a rogue frappuccino flying across a Starbucks lot. Most people would disappear after a wipeout like that, but not Sunny. She marched back onto The View with the same holier-than-thou energy, like nothing happened. And right on cue, comedy karma responded in the form of Greg Gutfeld and Tyrus. Let's start with Greg, the human double shot of espresso and sarcasm. He treats The View like it's a bad soap opera he's forced to watch on repeat. So the second her family's $450 million disaster went public, Gutfeld's sarcasm engine kicked into high gear. He raised an eyebrow and launched an airstrike of satire. According to Greg, Sunny trying to teach America about ethics while her spouse sets off a financial Chernobyl is like the cast of Jersey Shore giving marriage counseling. Spoiler, it's not a good look.
It's not even that. In The View, you don't need to find Trumpers. You need to fire your race baiters.
Yeah.
You need to fire the two races. You've had people. You had a McCain on there. You've had people on there before, and you ran them off. So the racist ones who want to stick to this, Whoopi and Sunny, and was it Bette Midler? What's her name? The broke-ass Bette Midler. Fire them and bring people in. Maybe you could get McCain to come back. She was a Republican, but every show and every break, she was nearly in tears that she was being...
Greg's roast was a poetic blend of irony and devastation. He painted a vivid image, Sunny on national TV, sipping champagne while her family's bank account plays chicken with bankruptcy. The message: if hypocrisy had a remix, Sunny would be dancing to it in glitter heels. And the audience? They devoured it like it was free fast food on a Friday. Online chaos erupted. Reddit went nuclear, Twitter melted into meme mode. One viral image even showed Sunny holding Bankruptcy for Dummies while pointing at the camera like she's still the moral authority. But just when the laughter began to cool, Tyrus stepped in and dropped the hammer. He didn't yell. He didn't flail. He just leaned back, calm and composed, and hit harder than anyone. Tyrus speaks with heavyweight gravity. When he talks, the noise stops and the truth drops. He asked the one question no one on The View dared touch: how can someone so obsessed with appearances, so determined to preach virtue, be this blind to the tidal wave crashing into her own home? The final blow. Tyrus ripped apart the absurdity of lecturing the world from a collapsing pedestal. It wasn't just commentary, it was a moral wrecking ball.
His obsession with race gets thrown back in her face. Today's video comes to us from Sunny Hostin. Sounds like a town. We're in Sunny Hostin. She was on PBS's Finding Your Roots, a show dedicated to researching celebrity ancestry. For context, Sunny is a staunch supporter of reparations and has made a fortune spewing nonsense about white privilege and racial justice. Well, turns out she's not as oppressed as she claims she is. She's actually the descendant of slave owners from Europe. And it is funny, she's so wrapped up in identity and she had no